Hi everyone, this is Kat of Catalyst Holistic Life Coaching, bringing your life in alignment with you. I'm here today to do your weekly forecast reading for this week of January 10th through the 16th, my first reading in 2022. I am a soul coaching, oracle, and tarot card practitioner, as well as a holistic health practitioner and life coach. I use these readings to kind of give the overall collective a sense of the energy that is moving through the week, a message from spirit through tarot and oracle, as well as what is going on in the astrology of the week. So since this is kind of a general overarching reading, it may not necessarily resonate with you, but just take what works for you and use it in your own way to keep you mindful and guided throughout your week. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you would like, please subscribe. Of course, if anything really resonates, I love to hear your comments and your stories. And I will also be offering more pick a card readings this year. So if that's something you're looking for more specific, you can search one of those videos. Otherwise, I am also available for personal readings as well. All right, so let's get into it, starting with our tarot. This week I am using the Shadowscapes Tarot. I'm also kind of a collector of decks, both tarot and oracle, so you'll see me using a lot of different kinds. I'll try to name them if you really like the imagery. So we have 3 cards from the tarot this week. We have the 4 of Pentacles. Sorry about the shine of my light. And then we have the 10 of Swords in the reverse. And then our 7 of Pentacles in the reverse. So, with the Pentacles energy, this could have a lot to do with things in your sort of material world, things very physically present, such as finances or jobs, places that you live, things like that. So with the 4 of Pentacles and the 10 of Swords, I see that we're kind of holding on to something. We're really clinging to hold on to something material because we have this sense or fear of losing it. The 10 of Swords has more to do with our mental processes, and with it being an ending card in the reverse, we're just quite not getting through that cycle. There is this sort of block here, this kind of reference of, you know, I'm kind of scared to take the next step. I don't really want to let this go because I don't know, I don't have all the answers. I don't know where I'm going to land, because you can see she's kind of falling through empty space, but in the upright you can see she's kind of accepting it for what it is. There isn't really a struggle, even though she is kind of bound up in the energy. There is still sort of this relaxed sense of surrender, of allowing. And so whether it's maybe a financial situation, it could be a relationship situation for some of you, a particular person, it could be family members maybe, just certain connections that kind of give you a sense of security. Because normally, like, it is really good to kind of pull together our resources and keep what works for us. But if it's something that is actually blocking you from moving into this new cycle, if it's something that is just keeping you going round and round in your mind and you're wondering what the issue might be, this 4 of Pentacles could really be saying, well, what is really valuable to you? And is that placed out of a sense of lack, or is it placed in a sense of well-being? Do you value these things because of they make you feel good, or they do really fulfill you, or is it just some sort of projection of expectation that you need these things to feel a sense of security in that sense? Because also with the 7 of Pentacles, normally this is kind of really taking stock of how far we've come. and really acknowledging the hard work that we've put into something. And so you may just kind of feel a sense of loss, like a sense of not knowing the next step to take, because you're needing to actually reflect on these things that you have accomplished. And with the Ten of Swords, I'm also seeing that this could be a sort of projection through negative thinking. So you could be just looking at yourself with kind of a negative outlook rather than giving yourself the pat on the back that you deserve. Maybe you think you haven't accomplished certain things, or maybe you are just hoarding these things together because you don't feel like you have enough to really, how do I want to say this? You don't really have enough to give yourself the credit of accomplishment. Like, you think that you still have to take and take and take and build and build and build before you will feel satisfied. So very often when we accomplish things, we don't really acknowledge it. We kind of move on to the next thing. We keep doing things over and over and over again, hoping that we'll get that feeling that we're so craving. So with these two reversed cards, Spirit is really asking you to kind of take a look back and see where you might be blocking yourself with this limited view, this limited thinking. Change your perspective a little bit and look at the wisdom from beforehand of what this might be leading up to. Like, if you are maybe feeling this sense of loss, but you're just not quite making sense of it yet, or you're just kind of clinging and holding on to whatever is taking a big shift in your life, you're not really seeing the bigger picture here. You're not seeing why this cycle is trying to end for you, because you are evolving past this. You are ready to move to the next level, but you have to be willing to surrender and let those things go for yourself. So really this week, taking stock a little bit and seeing what these things are, that are they really something that you want to take with you into the next cycle, or are you ready to kind of stop this negative thinking, stop these repeating cycles of pain and suffering, and just really accept the new cycle. Not playing the victim anymore either is something that I'm hearing for some of you. Learning more to step into your power, and sometimes power is surrender. It doesn't mean we have to like it. It doesn't mean that we're okay with everything that's happening, but we are just surrendering ourselves a little bit to be more trusting that it's all working out in our favor. So a big way you can do that is just reflecting on where this journey has taken you so far, what you've learned along this journey, what little jewels of wisdom you're going to take with you, and kind of flip it on its side and see how this could maybe be a positive thing rather than just something that's happening to you. It's happening for you. Okay. All right, so let's move into a little clarification with our oracle cards. We're working with 2 oracle decks this week. So our first oracle deck is the Enchanted Blossoms. This is my newest deck that I got. Really excited about it. So we have the card Wisdom, I was saying before, Gratitude, Luck, Magnificence, and Grace. So yeah, that idea of wisdom, those pearls of wisdom, everything is a lesson. Everything is kind of taking this in. And this is the purple iris and the common map butterfly. So those could be symbols for you too. But everything, every knowledge, every insight that we experience, whether good or bad, is meant to be turned into wisdom to use throughout the rest of our lives. So again, being able to kind of flip that on its side, and each time we grow a crop, each time we plant a seed and an intention, and maybe it doesn't work out the way necessarily that we planned, that wisdom, that experience can be integrated for the next crop to grow. And either we decide it's not something that's really for our best interests, or we just decide on a new approach. But it doesn't mean it has to be the end. It's just the end of the way we were doing things before. And that can just be ways of thinking. I see that more with this swords energy, that it's more about our thoughts and our patterns and the way we kind of talk to ourselves. That is kind of being challenged with this energy, because then with gratitude, the bluebells and the brimstone butterfly, that shifting that mindset to inviting gratitude, feeling a sense of gratitude for having this experience, for being able to live through the ups and downs of life, is a way to kind of get a sense of what we are really valuing, what we are really grateful for. So when we feel hurt so deeply, we can also feel love so deeply. So even if you're feeling a sense of loss, take a look at those things that you do still have, those little flowers, those little gems that you can start to acknowledge, because maybe you were ignoring those things before too, is something that I'm hearing. Maybe you were really spending too much time focusing on your negative qualities or the negative aspects of your life, that you've been neglecting the things that are positive. And those are maybe what's really crying out to you. Those could be people, those could be family members, it could be your art or your passions. Those are the things that really make you you, and maybe you've just been neglecting them because you've been so focused on something else that not necessarily was driving you in the wrong direction. Like everything is, leading up to a certain point. It's all our choice on how to learn it. But it was not really who you were at heart. It wasn't really benefiting your soul. You were maybe doing it for outside reasons, or just kind of following old patterning that you haven't quite worked through yet. And then we have the luck card with the bells of Ireland flower and the bicolor Commodore butterfly. So you could have maybe been living in a sense of scarcity, especially with this kind of clinging Four of Pentacles energy. You could have really been just feeling down on your luck, like, why are things not changing? Why is this always happening to me? Again, that like kind of victim mentality, instead of maybe you can ask yourself, or just play around with like writing your own story. You could be journaling it and saying, where did I get lucky in this situation? And how can I invite more of that luck? How can I invite more of that energy? And luck is also really about trusting that, Spirit wants you to succeed. You didn't just come into this life to be a failure. You came into this life to learn your lessons and to learn to be better. So where can you... Again, that gratitude and luck really kind of goes together. It's all about perspective. And then we have the card Magnificence with the Bird of Paradise and the common mother of pearl butterfly. And this is a really beautiful card, but when we look at the Bird of Paradise, this really unique and beautiful flower, it just really calls your attention. So you could have been playing small as well. You could have been, that could maybe be where that small, like, clinging energy is coming from with the Four of Pentacles. And that's what this wisdom is trying to show you, is where you were not really showing your true colors, where you were kind of playing it safe and not willing to take the risk, not willing to stand out, which I'm not saying, you know, some of us are kind of introverted and we don't really like to stand out and grab attention in that way. But when you're not acknowledging how unique you are, or that you also have your own gifts to offer, you're not really tuning into your magnificence. You're not seeing yourself as another reflection of spirit that is expressing itself in this lifetime. All right, and then we have with grace, so the yellow jasmine and the two-tailed pasha. I feel like this is really saying just to be a little more gentle with yourself. And that kind of, again, that surrender energy and that 10 of Swords, rather than trying to fight so much and feel like you're struggling and looking at everything negatively, just take a breath and maybe soften a little bit. See some gentleness in yourself, see some gentleness in the situation, and just invite, especially with that kind of yellow energy, like softening and being childlike and finding a curiosity, like not taking things so seriously. So even if grace is not always something you may be the best at, even just taking a pause and maybe a breath when you're starting to feel that kind of closing in energy, that protective sort of clinginess of not wanting to let go, of wanting to control. Ask yourself where you could maybe be more graceful and where maybe you could just allow more beauty and grace into your life. Okay. All right, let's move into our last oracle deck. Is some guidance from the essential oil cards, and these also work with the chakras, so we'll maybe get to see where there could be some potential blocks energetically going on. So the first plant we have is eucalyptus. These ones are really reflective, so I apologize. And it has to do with reset. Let me see if I can get it. Nope, can't get that top word. All right. So it has to do with reset. Its trigger statement is I am sick, and the true statement is I am alive. So that, again, coming into that victim mentality and that resetting of switching over to like gratitude and magnificence, feeling that aliveness, taking yourself out of that muck. So maybe some of you have been going through a depression, and this week's energy is giving you the opportunity and the tools to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Challenge that, to empower yourself to see these patterns. Not saying it's something that happens overnight, but you can start to get a better perspective on how to challenge those beliefs, how to challenge yourself, and give yourself strength to come out of those episodes. It is time to embrace a new way of being, one filled with health and the freedom to create a new reality. So yeah, coming in with that luck, like you create your own luck. Luck isn't just given to any one people just because spirit decides that they're worthy. It's you deciding your worthiness, your ability to create your own luck. The next one we have is a calming blend. So this one, eucalyptus, is working with the third eye chakra. And then we've got the heart chakra here. So this has to do with acceptance. Again, yeah, that switching and surrendering to gratitude. I cannot trust anyone is the trigger statement, and the true statement is everyone deserves my love. So for some of you, this could be a relationship that's ending. It could also be some sort of work partnership. I'm hearing for some of you, just somebody you really trusted in your life that gave you a sense of stability. Maybe it was someone you were living with or sharing a home with. Maybe it was a family member. Someone who was really a cornerstone of your life, has really played a major role, is now kind of walking out. And and this feels like an affront to you. You're feeling this really big sense of abandonment. And so this could be a reflection on, if you're looking to your past about, you're kind of seeing yourself as like stagnant and stuck. Like maybe you're thinking that was all a waste of time. Like I put all my energy into this and I got nothing. I'm losing everything, and this person is lucking out and I'm not getting anything from it. And this is, reminding you to center back in that heart space and come back to yourself, that you were not wrong to trust this person. And no matter what you are feeling, that doesn't mean you have to, again, guard your heart or shut down, because this can also be another situation of not really giving your riches out to others either. Like you're just kind of hoarding and holding things close to yourself as well. I open my heart to heal and release. I open myself to the peace of divine love and grace. Yeah, so opening to that grace. That grace and love that spirit always has available to you. It's very difficult sometimes when we're in these tumultuous feelings to actually acknowledge that, or to feel like this is benefiting us in some way. But you can just maybe affirm to yourself that later down the road you can look back on this and see what that gift truly was. It doesn't have to be something you're getting all the answers for now, but just, again, trusting and allowing that to come in. So the next card we have is Rosemary, and also Third Eye. So really third eye kind of blockages going on for some of you. If you're feeling like your perceptions of things or your intuition is really off, you may want to work with some of these oils to start clearing up your third eye energy. But again, that word of wisdom, Rosemary having to do with wisdom. Our third eye really does have to do with wisdom, but it's demon and shadow side is illusion. So how we're projecting things, how we're seeing things maybe on like a physical level as the truth, but really there's something deeper going on that maybe we're just not paying attention to. So the trigger statement is, it doesn't make sense. True statement, I see the bigger picture. So yeah, this broad category, this broad story that is really just not so focused on you, on bringing you down. It's something that's going to kind of create this ripple effect out into your life. And that's really what wisdom is like learning from those really bumpy times, learning from our challenges. Because if we never had challenge, if we never had setbacks, we would have never evolved. That's what makes us who we are. That's what shapes and molds us throughout our lifetime. So you are moving towards a deeper level of understanding, from knowledge to wisdom. Take time to absorb the lessons. So yeah, make sure you acknowledge and look back. Don't just look at everything like half full or half empty. There's that fine line that you can walk between negative and positive, and you get to make that choice for yourself. Okay. Next, we have an uplifting blend. Again, heart chakra. So yeah, you could be dealing with a heart chakra block. This is what this situation could really be calling forward for those of you who are experiencing this loss, or this betrayal maybe for some of you, or you feel betrayed. So your heart is really being called to stay open and stay in that love, representing being cheerful. So the trigger statement is, I am powerless, and the true statement is, I am excited to see what the future brings. So yeah, not letting yourself look down on your luck, not letting yourself be the victim, but getting kind of excited to see what the next step is. Getting excited to say, how can I shape my life from here? What can I do differently? Because that can always feel good. You may be moving into the new year are starting to feel this energy of, how do I shift that? How do I want to do things differently? And if this is like something that you kind of moved into the new year with that you weren't expecting, especially with the new moon, and you're kind of feeling offset from your resolutions per se, this situation could be actually challenging your resolve for your resolutions. So maybe taking another look again and reflecting on that. The future is bright. Enjoy knowing that your optimism today fuels your amazing tomorrow. Enough said. Okay. Let's see. All right. So then we have a lot of essential oil cards. By the way, I should have mentioned that before. I just kind of pick randomly. I just go with how many cards Spirit tells me to pull, and so this is where we're at. So next we have an anti-aging blend, and it represents spirituality. So this isn't to say like this isn't necessarily speaking to, reversing like aging or like you're getting old or that sort of thing. But the more we disconnect from spirit, the more we start to just feel like we're deteriorating. When we sever that connection, when we don't really feel those drives for those higher purposes, we can just feel very stagnant. We can, feel very sick. We can feel, like we're not as lively as we once were, because this all has to do with the crown chakra. That's what this energy is. So when we sever that tie, we do feel that loneliness. We do feel like our heart starts to close and that we have no purpose and everything is out to get us. So I feel like this is, more so saying like, to come back to that connection. And with the trigger statement saying I am so disconnected, and the true statement saying everything is connected, it will be beneficial for you to spend time in quiet contemplation. You need to reflect within to find the answers you seek. So slowing down a little bit, being able to give yourself the time and space to grieve, to feel that sense of what is really hurting you, what aspects of yourself is really being triggered, not with a sense of being patronizing or mean. You want to still have compassion for yourself for wherever you're being triggered. And maybe it doesn't entirely make sense. These could be older wounds that you have maybe numbed out for a long time, and this is like calling you back to connect to spirit. So that can be some of the beauty and grace and magnificence that you can see in it. Is this is your chance to kind of reconnect to those things that you have been disconnected from for so long. So next we have Copaiba, which is also to do with the crown chakra. Copaiba is like a CBD kind of runoff oil. It's very, very potent and grounding, and it has to do with worthiness. So trigger statement, I am ashamed. True statement, I am cherished. So for some of you, you could be feeling like this situation was your fault. You could be, again, like sometimes with that victim mentality, even though we feel like something's out to get us, we can still partially like blame ourselves. And that's also another disempowering place to approach that from. And this could be at fault of, negative thinking, of unworthiness, in the sense of like you think in some way maybe you deserve this, and that's that sort of victimhood. And that could be that protection that's kind of keeping you from feeling these things, from feeling those deeper emotions, because you're just like, well, this is what happens, this is what I do, this is who I am, and this is how things turn out for me. But that's not really wisdom. If something is repeating over and over again, there's something that we are missing. So there are connections to ancestral and childhood memories that are ready to be healed. Allow divine light to shine within you. So these could, for some of you, be blocks that you have inherited from family members that you may not be aware of. Or if you are, like if you had a kind of rough childhood with parents or just a certain significant person, or maybe this relationship that is falling out could be from, you know, a family member you're just starting to realize that is just toxic in your life. Your dynamic with them is finally going through a shift because you don't want to be in this place anymore. You want to embrace your magnificence. And this person or situation was really just dimming that light, really not seeing you for your worth. So you're ready to kind of, your soul is just ready to reset that. You've been living in this dynamic for too long, is what I'm hearing for some of you. All right, and then our last one we have is Peppermint Third Eye again. So all of our upper chakras really, especially our crown and third eye, are really coming forward, and also working in the heart. Perspective and spirit and our intuition are really being called to be worked with right now. So Peppermint has to do with inspiration. The trigger statement, I am stuck, and the true statement, I am filled with possibility. Allow yourself to float up and above any thoughts or emotions and see what is needed for you to process them and move forward. So yeah, again, taking that time to connect with spirit, to connect with your true self, and to start having just a little more grace and gentleness. Allowing the illusion of your ego, what maybe you're projecting yourself as, what maybe people have told you you are, and stepping into that power, stepping into that brilliant magnificence that you are. And once you start to do this, start to play around with this, you might start to notice your luck shifting, whether that's financially or just you start to call more people in that are supporting you and your endeavors. As you start to soften and just release and let go and feel that inspiration, you won't have to cling in a sense of lack anymore. You will see the possibilities. You will see that there's always a continuation forward, but sometimes we have to look back on the past. Sometimes we have to take a moment to reflect and acknowledge where our thoughts and our resources are going. Yeah. So yeah, really big reset going on for a lot of you. This, for some of you, yeah, I really feel like there was just someone or something you were just stuck with that has just been your story for a long time, and your intentions, your new resolutions are challenging you and taking you out of this for a good reason. It's making you small. It's making you feel unworthy. Okay. All right. So let's just take a look at the astrology to see if there is anything else going on. So we are in the new lunar cycle of Capricorn. That started last week on the 4th of, or was it the 2nd? Might have been the 2nd of January. Yeah. So we are in this new lunar cycle. Things are starting to kind of change in our values, our work, our material sense of self. So then this Friday on the 14th, we also have Mercury, our planet of our thoughts and how we communicate, is going to be going retrograde and moving through Aquarius and then briefly back into the sign of Capricorn. So there is this reevaluation time. There is this sense of maybe we were ready to get started with the new year and we just feel like all this stuff is just kind of stalling us. We feel this sort of just restrictive energy. I felt it a little bit myself with the beginning of the week, beginning of the month, because we entered into the shadow period. So it is the period that Mercury is going to go through. And so we are feeling this sense of like push-pull of like it's the new year, but things are still kind of moving and I'm not quite certain. So if anything, since we're about to move into this retrograde period for about 2 weeks, don't feel like you're already losing on your resolutions. Honestly, in my opinion, the true new year is like the Chinese New Year, which more has to do with the lunar calendar, and that will be happening in February with the next new moon in Aquarius. So, and we'll be moving into the year of the tiger. We're currently finishing the year of the ox, which is kind of a more yin energy anyway, and very slow moving, and kind of like we were setting the foundations, and now tiger is just like, we're ready to go. We're ready to go forward. So don't feel like you're really missing out. So the degrees of Aquarius and Capricorn that we're moving through in the tarot is represented by the Six of Swords in the reverse and the Five of Swords in the reverse, and then Four of Pentacles in the reverse. And in this degree is when we'll start moving forward again. So this is what we're going to be reviewing and then coming back to in the upright once Mercury goes direct again. So there was, we're about ready to move into this new period of, there was maybe lots of conflict, and we were just ready to move into this sense of peace. But again, we're kind of disturbed by those thoughts. We're not giving ourselves that peace of mind. We're not really being gentle with ourselves. We're not being very forgiving. We're just kind of holding on to that past hurt and not allowing it to let go. That conflict is still just running rampant, where we couldn't see eye to eye, and we were just really like straining and struggling to be heard, to be seen, to be felt. This can also be like really hurtful words. So with some of you who are maybe releasing this person or situation, they could have been just really emotionally or verbally abusive as well. And you're going to start to kind of get a perspective on maybe how you've internalized some of that as well, and where that's been disempowering you. Because again, we're coming back to that Four of Pentacles energy. So this is also the Four of Pentacles. And this is the Weaver Tarot, the Ascendant edition. So yeah, we're gonna just like review those values, review where we're keeping ourselves small, where we're kind of bound up and not really satisfying ourselves. We're maybe letting others control our stability rather than giving it to ourselves. We're just maybe feeling really blocked off and untrusting. So Mercury retrograde is that time for that reset that is coming forward. So over the next couple weeks, don't feel like you have to have a lot of progress or a lot of forward movement. Just pay attention, especially with this third eye energy going on. Pay attention to your thoughts, your perceptions, because Mercury in Aquarius is also like our ideals, like how we want to better serve the collective, how we want to kind of make our mark in the world as well. And also our deeper like soul work with Capricorn, going back into that energy. So we're working on our skills to be able to kind of come back into the bigger picture. Aquarius does have to do with that bigger picture energy and the wisdom that we've gained over this period of time, because Capricorn is karma and wisdom. So anything with the word re in front of it, so rewrite, redo, review, anything like that is really good for this Mercury retrograde energy. Okay, so we'll be spending the next couple weeks looking over that. So that's what's really sticking out. Okay. All right. I know that was a lot of information, especially just moving into the first month of the new year. There's a lot going on. But mostly this is a lot of soul work going on. So don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel like this is something you can't handle. Like this is something Spirit is ready to throw your way. Something I had recently read is the challenges that come our way always come when we are ready to receive them. They don't come any sooner or any later. So when you have taken that step, when you have made that intention of being ready to accept those challenges, Spirit is going to bring them to you. And some people, it may flow easier. Other people, it could be their life's work. But it's, again, that wisdom, that is the reason that we're here, and is the reason that we grow and are able to overcome these things and live the life that we want. Okay, so just trust and have gratitude that this is all leading to the place that you want to be, leading to all those goals, all those dreams, all those aspirations. And remember to maintain that feeling of self-worth as well. That could be really, for some of you, that's what's being challenged in this situation. Okay. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you so much for tuning in for this video. If you really liked it, again, please comment, subscribe. I offer my personal readings below. You can click and schedule one with me over Zoom or in person. I also have many other coaching services as well as yoga therapy to help you in any of your goals and aspirations. If you also just feel free to receive energy exchange, you can donate or tip me below on my CashApp links. So again, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Take care.